Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. In Chicago Business Today, Sweet Home Chicago. The London-based company that makes Splenda sweetener, Tate & Lyle, could soon move its U.S. headquarters to Hoffman Estates. Sources tell Crain that Tate & Lyle is in talks to take over most of a 3-year-old office building in the northwest suburb. The move could involve hundreds of jobs. It's a big win for Chicago, which for years has been losing headquarters of multinational companies to other cities, and now has managed to attract several big ones like Miller Coors. Eddie Babe broke the story in this week's print edition of Crain's. Eddie, this is another win for Chicago, right? For so many years we were losing headquarters, now we seem to be gaining them.
Yeah, there was, for a good decade, a lot of concern about losing all the corporate headquarters and facilities here. And what's made up for that is not so much companies that are based here, but these big multinational companies that have been consolidating and now sort of have U.S. operations. They used to have them in various places for various reasons. I think they've become more willing to look and consider, where should we have our America's headquarters? Where should it be? Chicago has been positioning itself for some time to try to snare those businesses, and this is another example of that. The Miller Coors, a much higher profile, better known one, but this one could be talking about as many or more jobs coming to the region.
So exactly how many jobs are we talking about, and what kinds of jobs are they?
Well, we don't know the number count exactly, but what we know is from the amount of real estate space that they're taking, that can generally accommodate between 400 to 500 people. We also know that in Decatur, where they're the third largest corporate employer, they've got some 700 to 800 people. Now, a good number of those they have their largest corn manufacturing facility there, but then the other ones are the U.S. headquarters and a research and development. I think we'll end up with a combination. It could just be all the administrative, the U.S. headquarters staff, but it could be R&D as well.
Okay, so what's Tate & Lyle telling you? How close are they to signing a deal here?
All they're saying is that they're confirming that they're looking at moving options or moving facilities in the wake of this overall corporate reorganization. They won't go into any specifics or details on whether it's Decatur, whether it's Chicago. They say they have no timetable set. Now sources that I have say that they're looking at like the second half of 2011 possibly to make this move.
So Marisant is based here, another artificial sweetener company. Did Tate & Lyle feel that they needed to be in Chicago for any particular reason?
I don't think it was because of their sweetener, which is Splenda, most of which are now recently all of which are being made in Asia. But I think the issue is that they see as a key growth area, as well as just their food ingredients, which is the high fructose corn syrup stuff. And I believe that their rationale is that it's just more convenient for them to hit customers from the Chicago area. You have this already built-in base of food companies here. Why do we have to bring them down to Decatur or bring us up from Decatur to go see them? The other factor you have, of course, is just in the talent pool that you can draw from. You'll be able to attract and retain better talent being in a city like Chicago versus a smaller market. And then thirdly, just traveling internationally. To get from Decatur to all parts around the world, a lot more complicated, obviously, than doing so from Chicago. That has been really the pitch, and I think the advantage that companies see when they locate to a town like Chicago.
And the company has a new chief executive. What do we know about him, and what are we likely to see from him going forward?
Yeah, he spent a good number of years at a London-based the conglomerate that makes Lysol and Calgon and other big consumer products. And what he has shown since he's taken over as October, he announced this major reorganization. They sold off their sugar business, which went back 130 some years for the company. I think he's shown that he's clearly going to shake things up and make big, bold moves like selling their sugar business. And I don't think he's, at all going to be the type to be beholden to kind of this idea that, well, our history has long had us in Decatur with the A.E. Staley company. I just think that he's shown he's, taking bold steps.
Okay, Eddie, well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Jones Lang LaSalle, which is representing Tate & Lyle in its search here, would not talk to Crain's for this story. And that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. For more on this story, be sure to check out this week's print edition of Crain's or chicagobusiness.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.